Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Juice Baseball channel, and welcome back to another episode of the New York Mets Legends Fantasy Draft Series here on MLB The Show 23. We are back, and we continue on with our defense of our World Championship. But we can take a little bit of time and enjoy ourselves because we've made it all the way. Made it all the way to draft time. That is right. It is draft day. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Super excited. Cannot wait. It's time to go. Today is the 2025 first year player draft. What would I like to do? You know what I would like to do. I want to go drafting, baby. Now remember, we are going to be drafting pretty late. That's just what's going to happen. We're going to be drafting pretty darn late because obviously we won the championship. So we're the final pick in the draft. That's why I scouted a bunch of players that are later in the rounds. And this guy for sure, Johnny Hartman, I mean, we have him as our number 2 ranked prospect on the board. He looks phenomenal. We have him 100% scouted. I'm certainly adding him to the queue. He might be our guy as long as he stays on the board. But if he doesn't for some reason, somebody else has their eye on him, then we could go another route, maybe like a Mariano Francisco type of player who has a lot of good potential power, which is always something that's valued in modern baseball. We could go with a Mario Meza. Looks like a pretty solid catcher first base prospect, defensively as well. So there's a couple guys that we could go with. I'll add Meza, I'll add Francisco, and I'll even add Shane Navarro because he could be a nice little underrated first base prospect that we go for. But other than that, I don't know if the first round we're going to find anybody that's like super good except for this number 1 guy that we got on our board, Johnny Hartman. We're going to be keeping an eye out for him, absolutely. So that is who I'm going to go for if he's there. I'm really hoping he is. But it is the draft. I'm excited. Hope you guys are too. We're picking 30th. Please, oh please, Johnny Hartman be there. Who's going to be the number 1 pick, though? Who is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft? It will be New York Yankees selecting Mark Rangel. Rangel? I don't know who he is. We didn't have him scouted, but looks pretty big, and he's what is he? What's his position? He's a starting pitcher. Okay. Very interesting from New York. That's the number 1 overall pick. Next up, the number 2 pick in the draft is taken by the Toronto Blue Jays, and they select Kingman. Richie Kingman, another guy that we didn't have scouted, but he's the number 2 prospect in Major League Baseball. So congratulations to him for getting taken second. Then now we have ourselves the Nationals taking a man named Morris. Starting pitcher, 21 on the board. A little bit of a reach, you could say, but we didn't scout him, so I don't know what his potential truly is, but that could be considered a little bit of a reach. You never know. And I kind of want to sim to my Mets pick, but I don't want to lose out on Johnny Hartman. I guess it's not going to matter because we can't trade or anything, so let's sim to our pick. Johnny Hartman makes it to us, and I don't see how you could go against Johnny Hartman. He seems like such a good defensive shortstop. He can play second and third. He's got decent enough contact and power and all that stuff, but he's a really good defensive speed guy. He's 6'4". Johnny Hartman is going to be our number 1 pick. He's number 2 on our board for a reason. 80 to 95 potential. I think we got ourselves a future trade piece for sure. Let's sim to our next pick. All of the guys that we had on the queue have been drafted, so we'll have to go from our gut and see if we can find anybody. Fabio Arroyo is a guy that really intrigued me. He looks like such a prospect, or such a project, but he looks tasty. He does look tasty. Unfortunately, we don't pick again to 104, so I don't think Arroyo is going to be there. So if we want him, we got to take him now. I think that's what I'm going to do. Fabio Arroyo is our pick in the second round. Starting pitcher. He's got that 85 to 95 potential. I really need to know. His overall is going to be very low, but he looks like such a stud. Oh, no, I just... Ah. Oops. I skipped the rest of the draft there. That's my bad. Oopsie daisy. I was trying to skip to my next pick, but that's okay. That's okay. Remember, in this, I'd be a lot more upset if it was the Royal Series. This series isn't necessarily about the draft picks. This is about the legends. So we will now move on towards the trade deadline period, and we will get started with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the draft, and let's get on to some trade deadline talk. It is now time to finish the month of July with our good friend trade deadline. That is right. We also have to obviously sign some draft picks that we are responsible for, including our number 1 overall pick. Well, our first round pick, 30th overall. Johnny Hartman, who I think is going to be super, super good. I really do. He's got good speed already off the bat, so he's already a burner at shortstop, and he looks like he could develop into a solid defensive shortstop and could be some nice trade bait. So we're going to put him in priority number 2. Felipe Cordova, nice little power hitting left fielder. Could be good. We're going to put him at second. And then Fabio Arroyo is the third string or third interest guy. He's our really, really project starting pitcher prospect that could have some value for another team that we can move on from. So really, I talk about this all the time. The guys that we draft in this series, don't get attached to them, because more than likely they're going to end up in trades to get legends on our team, because that's what this series is about. If you want to see the prospects and stuff, that's more on the side of the Kansas City Royals series if you enjoy that kind of thing. So yeah, don't get attached to any of these guys. Now, I'm not saying they all will get traded. Johnny Hartman could stay on the team, but more than likely they could get traded. So let's start signing players. Offer a contract to Hartman. We're going to have to pay him a ton of money. His value is 2.49. I'm going to offer him 2.56, and he has declined it. So the number 1 pick says no to that. All right. Felipe Cordova, he doesn't have enough interest in us. And then Fabio Arroyo does. We'll offer him about 1.21. Offer him that. He has signed. So the first guy that has signed a contract with us is our second round pick, Fabio Arroyo, the very much prospect project guy. Daryl Wise, we can offer a contract to 544. He's accepted his contract, so he's coming with us. Love to see it. Eric Ullman. These guys all are guys that I accidentally simulated past, so we didn't actually draft any of these guys. So that's something. Let me remove him. Is the other guy more interested? He is. Ronald Turner, we can offer him a contract as well. We'll offer him about 293. He's accepted, and then we'll put Ullman back in. So we're going to have to wait a little bit on... We're going to have to wait till the next signing period to get Johnny Hartman, and hopefully Cordova's interest jumps up a little bit more. So let's move forward to the trade deadline and stuff. Another day to sign draft picks. So Cordova's only went up 2%. We're definitely going to have to move him to the number 1 spot. So let's move him to priority number 1 anyway. And we'll move him to priority number 2, Ullman. And then let's offer Hartman a contract. I'll just offer him the max. Just give him the max money that he can get. And he signs with us. So our number 1 overall pick, our number 30 pick, has signed a contract with the New York Mets. He's here. He's ready to go. Another day to sign draft picks. Hopefully they get bumped up, okay? So we're now at 41% on Cordova. We'll have to wait a little bit longer. We have till August 1st to get those guys signed. Keep simulating, and we're back at a day to sign draft picks. We are at 46% on Cordova. We might just not have enough time to get these guys back, especially if they don't want to sign right away. But we're on a little bit of a nice streak here. We're 64 and 37. 51% on Cordova. Perfect. We can offer him a contract. We're not going to mess around. We're just going to offer him the max. He accepts, signs his contract, and now Ullman is the only guy. I wouldn't be too pressed if he doesn't sign with us, mainly because I didn't draft him, so I don't have any attachment to him. And it's not because I didn't want to draft him. It's just because I accidentally simulated the rest of the draft, so we only drafted 3 guys. But we are getting close to that trade deadline time. And we can sign or offer him a contract at least. And I'm just going to go to offer him about... Wait, what's the money that I have? Can I not offer him? I don't have any money. Oh, no. We signed it all. Okay, we don't need to sign him then. He's not going to matter. He's not going to be that good anyway. We don't have enough money to sign him. Let's keep simulating, though. And today is the trade deadline. All right, I am excited for this. I am absolutely excited for this. I've talked about in the past how I want to add another bullpen arm. I want to bring in somebody that I can trust in the bullpen. Who that's going to be, I don't know. We got a bunch of guys on this bench that we can use to trade. So, who's going to be that bullpen arm that I can bring in? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Hal Newhouser? Could be him. Could very much be him. We'll keep him in the back of our mind. It could also be a guy like Jose Alvarado, although he's struggling a little bit this year. Maybe Tom Henke. Is it going to be him? Maybe. He's having a pretty good season out of the bullpen. He could be on the table. There's not a whole lot of bullpen arms that fit what we're trying to do here. So it might just have to be Hal Newhouser. I don't want to go for Lefty Grove. He's not even having that great of a year. Older John Smoltz is not really performing that well. I think it's going to have to be Hal. Hal's just having that good of a year. He's really killing things. So we're going to try to get Hal Newhouser and add him to this pretty good bullpen already. And I know I have Clay Holmes, but I want to add somebody else. So we are going to... Who's going to be the trade piece? It could be, obviously, Lou Gehrig, but... Do I want to do that? I don't know. What team is he on? He's on the Royals. Let me quickly take a look at the lineup and see who we're not using right now. We're not using... We have a lot of first basemen, obviously. We have Delgado and we have Lou Gehrig. And Lou Gehrig has not even played yet because we obviously have Albert Pujols, who starts at first base. I don't know if I want to get rid of Lou or not. I feel like we could get a bunch of stuff for Lou Gehrig, which is kind of why I don't want to trade him. But we don't necessarily need him, do we? We have a pretty good team. I could make a move for him. Let's go back to the Royals. What else do they have on their team? Oh, we just played this team, didn't we? We just played this Royals team at some point, right? I remember these names. Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell. I think we just played them in the last game. That's kind of crazy. So if we were to give them Lou Gehrig, we could obviously get Hal Newhouser. It's not going to be that much of an issue. But we still have value to get. So what else can we get? We can't get Jeff Bagwell. We can get Craig Biggio. That's old Chipper Jones, Ernie Banks, Lou Brock, 37. There's Duke Schneider. We can get him for nothing. Or nothing else, I should say. And we can not get Harold Baines. What about Sandy Koufax? Sandy Koufax would be the only other guy that I'd want to go after. Except for maybe Duke Schneider. We're going to try to make this work. It's going to be a little tricky, but I think we can do it. If I give them Lucas Dunn, and then I give them one of my left field prospects, or one of my left field players, like Jurickson Profar, who's not going to matter, we can get this done. So we can bring in Koufax and Hal Newhouser for basically Lou Gehrig, which means that we add Koufax to the lineup, probably, and we add Newhouser to the bullpen, which is exactly what I wanted to do. So now, Koufax, he's got to go in, right? He's got to go in. He's 9-8 right now, and not having an amazing year, but he's starting to get hot, which is good. So we'll make Koufax the 3. Bumgarner's 10-7. Felix is 12-4. Felix is going to stay in. Bumgarner will be long relief. And then Newhouser. There we go. I like this a lot more. So we've got 3 relief pitchers in the middle that I trust. We've got a long relief guy that I obviously trust. And we've got 2 setups and a closer that I trust. To an extent. Excuse me. To an extent. And now we add Sandy Koufax, who wasn't even in part of my plan, but he's here now. So, awesome. The rotation looks a lot better. Lou Gehrig gets to play on the Royals, and we are looking real spicy as we move forward. How many do we have on the 40-man now? We have 38, 39, 40. Okay, so we have perfect amount on the 40-man roster. Injuries. Who's on the injured list? Griffey, I forgot about. Forgot Griffey was on the injured list. What about awards? How are we looking for awards? Albert Pujols could win back-to-back MVPs. He's playing pretty well so far. We've also got batting title potential. That'd be awesome. Love to see it. We've got Hank Aaron. Oh, he could win the Triple Crown. All right. Albert Pujols might be having himself a season. Then we got some Gold Gloves and some Silver Sluggers. But I think that is going to be all of the trading we need to do. We're not going to go for anybody, I don't think we need to, really. I don't really see the potential in that. I mean, maybe we go for, like, young Mark McGwire. But that's not really worth it, is it? Just to have him on the team? Not really worth it. And we're not going to go for Orlando Cepeda. We can't even go for Orlando Cepeda because he is injured with a fractured arm. And Gary Sheffield, we just don't need. So, I think we're good. I think this is the lineup and rotation that takes us back to our third straight World Series. Jeter, David Wright, Pujols, Bonds, Mantle, Sosa, Willie Mays, Johnny Bench, and Alfonso Soriano, with Posada, Ramirez, Cabrera, Jose Reyes, and Carlos Delgado on the bench. And then the rotation now looks like Greg Maddux, Roger Clemens, Sandy Koufax, Shohei Ohtani, and King Felix, with Bumgarner as long relief. I like it. I think that's a massive trade deadline. It was only supposed to be for a relief pitcher, but we ended up getting a starter as well. So I will take it. That's going to be our trade deadline. And we are now here. We don't have any more money to sign draft picks. So we're just going to let him just go away, basically. Don't care about that. Transactions, get all that done. What's here? Contracts? No. Searches? I don't know. What's it telling me to go in here for? Coaches. Scouts? What's it telling me? Why is it have an exclamation point here? Is it telling me for transactions? Is it pending transactions? Is that what it's telling me? I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. We've got some guys that need new contracts at the end of the season. That's going to be interesting. Where should we play our next game? We probably need to play at home. We haven't played at home for a while, have we? So we've got the Astros, we've got the Blue Jays, the Marlins, and the Nationals as teams that we face at home. We'll simulate the series against the Cardinals, and we take only one. Okay. But a 4-gamer against the Marlins. Johnny Bench is actually injured. That's not good. That means Posada will come in. Jorge Posada will step in and be the... It's a good thing I didn't try. I was thinking about trading Jorge Posada. It's a good thing I didn't. Because now he can fill in for Johnny Bench while he's hurt. I think he's only out for like a week or two. David Price is back, which is nice. But he's back. He's hurt again. Oh, David Price. Koufax plays against the Marlins. That's the game we'll play. We'll simulate the Blue Jays series. Ken Griffey Jr. is no longer hurt. Love to see that. So Griffey can come back in and play center field for us instead of Mickey Mantle, who's having a pretty good season, to be fair. But obviously I want Griffey back in. And we'll need to make sure that they are hitting in the right spots. So versus DH, Griffey hitting 5. We'll have Griffey hit 4. No, Griffey can hit 5. I don't mind. If we need to change it, we can. But Griffey hit 5. And this will be the game that we play next episode at home with our new pitcher, Sandy Koufax. I'm excited for that. Oh, I can't leave you guys hanging, though. We got to find out how good our first-round pick is. Johnny Hartman, how good is he? 73 potential? Wow. That is the biggest letdown I've ever had. He had a potential of 77 to 92, and he ends up with 90 or with 73. It's not even in his range, and we had him scouted 100%. It's not like we had him like 75 or something. No, we were at 100% scouted on Johnny Hartman, and he ends up being a 73 potential, a C potential player. who's really only fast. That's crazy. Fabio Arroyo ends up with 97 potential. So, yeah, he's a 61 overall right now. But he is going to be good. Then we've got Cordova ends up with 68 potential, 62 for Dale Wise, and 75 for Ronald Turner. So this draft ended up being very bad. Only because Johnny Hartman actually only has 73 potential. That's shocking. I am absolutely shocked. I mean, look at that. We had scouting progress to 100%. His potential 77 to 92. Guaranteed between that mark. And he ends up with 73. I've never seen that before. I've never seen it where we have him 100% scouted and it ends up, the actual potential is not what it said. That's actually insane. Is there anybody that had 99 potential throughout the league? No. Ooh, here we go. Ray Kramer, who was the Rangers' first round pick. He looks like a stud. But it seems like that's the only other guy. We got one of the highest potentials in the draft, though, with Fabio Arroyo. It's just he's bad because he's a project. But man, that I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked that he ends up being that bad. Well, I guess he's not going to be trade bait. Fabio Arroyo is certainly trade bait, but Johnny Hartman, he's going to be a Met most likely, unless we can just shove him inside another trade. That might be a possibility, but man, I'm shocked. I would have been super disappointed if that was like Royals and he was that bad, but since it's the Mets, I'm not as upset. I'm still upset, and it's still shocking, but I'm not as upset as I would be if it was the Royals. But that's going to do it for this video. Excuse me, I got a little frog in my throat. That's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.